Swear to God. Okay, there it is. Yeah, we're live.
Okay, well, we're live. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, totally.
Okay. Oh, awkward silence. No, let me get my
I know,
post-it.
that's weird. Okay, so good morning, everyone. It is Friday, May 20th, 2022. And I have been up for way more than 10 minutes. So anyway.
She just got up. So we're kind of...
It's Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at?
A Catch the Craze podcast.
What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you going to do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
You are an independent. Catch the Craze! Making moves on your own. Catch the Craze! On your grind in the streets. Catch the Craze! Join the movement. Catch the Craze!
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Woo! Wow, yeah. So here we are. I found my post-its.
Friday.
We're back on track. Today is Friday.
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Oh, boy. Or post-its, for that matter. Oh, what a morning. Hey? It's like, even though it's 11 something, so it's 11:04.
I don't know. I was not feeling it. I was like, hormonal and crampy and bitchy and tired.
Right,
And it was just
pretty much another Friday. So welcome everybody to another episode of the Ragin 2 the Vlogs shows. So we have
Patrick and Jody joining us already.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
Everybody else is at Brian's place, but they're coming.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yes, we do. And we do have 3 people watching us. So introductions all around. Hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and I am known for the funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales. And yes, this is the proof for Volume 4 coming soon to Kickstarter. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera, Eager Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which this trade will also be coming soon to Kickstarter. I love having proofs way in advance. So you can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. And you can also join me here on YouTube at Daphne Lage Art, where you can see all my videos on how I make my comics. And you can also join me here on the Ragin 2 network, where you can hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, get notified every time we go live with the show. So yes, so if you are watching us from Regions Beyond, from Facebook, from Twitter, wherever you're seeing this link, come on over to to YouTube. Come join our sexy people in the chat. You know, they're lonely right now. It's like, you know, there's only 2 of them right now. So come join them. Right? you know, let's get some conversation going. So Nita,
yo,
tell the peoples who they are.
Oh yeah, who they are? Fuck you, people. No, wait, come back. My name is Nita. Lanning. I like long walks on the beach. I am the CEO and executive producer of the Ragin Broadcast Network, and yeah, I'm still trying to wake up a little bit, and I just split my fucking lip open. So
it's a rough morning.
Great morning.
But at least, do you think that you're finally done rearranging your office?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I'm flipping it around because last night showed me just how much I cannot leave this set up if I want to be able to breathe during the day. Like when I'm live streaming, I can shut the door and use the padding to muffle the silence. But it gets fucking hot as hell in here.
Right.
And it's already 87 degrees outside. Ooh. And yeah, so I need the computer monitors on this wall so that when my children walk in my bedroom, they can't see straight into here looking at my pornography.
Right.
So,
it's business pornography. Right?
Yeah, my business porn.
Yes.
Business porn. So yeah, I'm gonna have to fucking flip it again.
Oh well.
But it should be easier this time because it's going to be exactly what you see behind me, just reverse.
Right. Yeah, I'm still kind of in the final throes of figuring out what I want here. I'm still putting up like the little acrylic wedges that you recommended, which are brilliant.
They are awesome. Awesome.
Absolutely. You can see some of them in action back here. On glass blocks, by the way. So it really it was a lifesaver. Wow. So yeah, even Iceland approves of that. He's impressed and approved. So let's see. So the title of today's show, because Patrick is asking. And hello, good morning, Joe. Good morning, Allison. Good morning, Patrick. So Patrick is asking about the title of today's show.
It started out, it was intentional. It was going to be a total bitch session, but I bitched so much all week, that I felt better until I woke up PMSing.
Well, that's kind of different, But you kind of got it out of your system. So
I did, and I did. I did. There's. Marketing tips that I fucking throw out there for free all the time that people don't listen to, and then shit happens, and it's like, and I'm not like I would never say I'm a god. I would never say, oh, well, I know this for a fact. There are some things that I do know for a fucking fact. I guess that part.
Well, yes, we have to give ourselves credit,
and it just kind of, there are ways people are going about marketing their crowdfunders that are counterproductive.
Right.
And what I mean by that is there is a trend right now.
Well, hold that thought.
Okay,
Why
good.
Don't we do a little housekeeping first?
Oh yeah, let's totally do that.
And then it's like we can kind of try to educate the peoples.
And keep me on control, Daphne.
And because there's a lot of campaigns, people are building their campaigns, they're starting their campaigns. They're doing campaigns for the first time. So maybe a little, marketing 101, or at least marketing.
Okay,
Thieves,
let's totally do that.
Will be helpful to people. So what's up? So what's in housekeeping?
You are, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely. So launching June 13th, 2022 is going to be Tall Tales Thieves Quest Volume 4, the 4th and final volume of the Thieves Quest story arc, but absolutely not the end of Tall Tales, because it's like the adventure just doesn't stop there. So the pre-launch page is live now, so you can go to Kickstarter and sign up to get notified when the campaign goes live June 13th. Volumes 1 through 4 will be available on this campaign, so you don't miss out on anything. So as I showed in the intro, the proofs are here, the proofs are ready, the books are ready to go. It's just the campaign launches June 13th, so sign up on the pre-launch page for that. So yes, and House of Bob coming up next Saturday already. I mean, it's like this month is just flying by. So House of Bob drawing night stream, the once a month special, drawing special that me and Nita do. You know, talking and drawing artwork and topics that not exactly appropriate for the daytime crowd. So the next show is going to be on May 28th, and the topic for this episode is going to be Rule 34 and the dirty fan art and fanfics that made us what we are today. And speaking of crowdfunding and everyone getting their crowdfundings out and fulfillment, save 5% on your next Gemini mailer order. Send out your books in style with Gemini mailers using our coupon code RAGIN2. And if you have any questions, have a comment, or you want us to talk about a specific topic on the show, you can email us at raginabc@gmail.com. There's no such thing as a dumb question, but our answers might be, or it really just might be silly, but we will answer them seriously. So you can contact us that way as well. So.
Oh shit! Hold on. I got
stuck. There we are.
Because I'm gonna throw this one out there real quick.
Okay.
Karen Nicole has Fire Bitch 3. She just started funding 2 days ago. She is fucking slaying it. You guys head over there and show her some love.
Look at that. Einstein is impressed already with Fire Bitch 3.
The link will be in the show notes before publication, but I am running behind, so it is not up there yet. And there are a couple other crowdfunds that'll be added tomorrow, so they'll be ready to go Monday.
There you go. So as always, you can find links in the show notes to pretty much anything that we kind of sort of mentioned in the show, but definitely all the campaigns mentioned, you can find links in the show notes. So well,
I locked the door for fapping sessions.
You know, that is a topic for next Saturday. By the way, which would help if I gave the time, right? So yes, if you want to join us for more inappropriate content, join us next Saturday from 10 p.m. to midnight on House of Bob. So we're just watching all these new campaigns crop up like flowers after the rain. And I'm just finishing up my campaign for Raven. I'm just waiting for the final sketch cover reprints to come in because I miscounted my books. So if you haven't received your package for Eagle Raven yet, that's the reason why I want to do all the sketch covers and all the original artwork at the same time, so everything goes out in one batch. So thank you everybody for your support and your patience with that. So every Kickstarter campaign is a learning experience, and we don't want to get copyright strike with that. So every Kickstarter that I do is a learning experience. And the one thing that is always just kind of like confounding me, because it kind of, the rules of it always change, is marketing, online marketing and social media marketing. Like I think it's the kind of like, out of everything, it's the most challenging thing that kind of like, I don't know. It always feels like, it's am I doing too much? Am I doing not enough? It's like, it's kind of that thing. So, now, you being a marketer, you see all sorts. All sorts. So what is like an example of something that you feel that maybe people aren't doing enough?
First and foremost, set an obtainable goal. Even if it's something that you know that's not the minimum amount that you need to fulfill. You set that lower end goal because you want that platform to work for you. That is number one. And I will use a client that is running a campaign right now as the perfect example.
Right.
Kara Nicole with Fire Bitch. Go look. Did Kara set an 8, 10, 20,000 goal? No, she didn't. She set her goal at $2,000. She knew she was going to get more than 2K. But here's the kicker. Look at her percentage right now.
Right.
If you go, she is currently at, and before anybody says, oh, because there's a tits and ass in her campaign, no, this goes beyond that. Right now, she is over 1,000% funded.
And the thing is, though, that number does something.
That number does something because with Kickstarter specifically, specifically Kickstarter, I'm not sure Indiegogo is a fickle creature. At 100%, at 125, 150, 175, 200, 300, 400, and 5, every time you hit those percentage markers, Kickstarter promotes you itself. It works for you. And how it promotes you is you're moved up in their algorithm, which means you're more likely to appear on their first page. You're more likely to appear in similar projects, whether you've cross-promoted with these people or not, which in turn, more people see you, which makes you even more likely to be shared by someone else.
Right.
So it's like, use that. Let that system fucking work for you. Don't set an $8,000 goal and sit there and have to fight it at the very end. Whereas if you set the lower goal and keep promoting, continually promote even after funding, you're more likely to not only hit your goal, but surpass your goal, even your expected goal.
Right.
Because everybody sets a goal that they think they need, and then they have that goal in their head that they want.
Right.
You're more likely to get that goal that you want if you set that very minimum need.
Right. Because again, using Kara as an example, I mean, her campaigns are very consistent. I mean, she raises regularly up to $40,000 on her campaign.
Right.
But she set a $2,000 goal. Now, because I know for a fact,
the bitch knows how to market.
Right. Now, I know for a fact, we both know for a fact that doesn't cover her costs cover her costs.
Not even close.
For doing the book. I mean, it's like I think she colors her own book, right? I think she has. She has a small army of people putting together. She has photographers. She has,
and she pays them all well. 2K wouldn't touch her for what she spends.
So her minimum is not what she absolutely needs. It's far from it. However, because she set that goal, I mean, technically, I'm just repeating what you said. She's using the algorithm, to her benefit. Because now it's like, oh, the algorithm is saying, oh, you funded 1,000% over, and now every time you open up Kickstarter, Fire Bitch is right there. And I think, and that's like a big difference between Kickstarter and Indiegogo, because Indiegogo doesn't do that. I mean, there's certain things that Indiegogo does that I like, but there are certain things that Kickstarter does that I like better, right? Kind of, and this is one of them. So the thing is, though, so she set her goal to 2,000, but like within 24 hours, she was at 20,000. So it's not like she was taking a risk that, oh, what if I only make 2,000? I mean, that's obviously not her pattern.
Right.
So if you've done campaigns where you can get up to a certain amount, you can play with the algorithm by lowering your goal, knowing that you're going to, you're going to reach your actual goal anyway, but now you have Kickstarter working for you.
And you also have a psychological effect too, because people, when they see percentages, recognize percentages more rapidly than they do price differences.
Right.
Whereas when you see the comparison, you see, okay, so she set her goal here, but she's here. You see the here numbers to where she's at now, but when they add that little percentage, and then it's like, whoa, this must be some good shit here. Right. I got to get in on this. There's that too.
Right. Because also conversely, there's also, if people coming across your campaign see that you're struggling there, or you're taking a little too long to fund, they're probably less likely to support your campaign. Because they're looking at that going, oh, are they going to fund anyway?
Especially if it's your first time.
Right. Because there is no pattern. So yeah, it's like they're going, oh, is this going to fund anyway? I'm not going to bother with it. So you know, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of, and that's the thing that some people don't understand, that not only are you playing the algorithm, but you're playing with psychology as well, in terms of that. And what would you say to people who do argue that's way below what I need to make?
Are your pages laced with LSD? I mean, seriously, even 100-page book. I guess it would depend, because if someone was charging $1 a book, then no, you're not gonna. If you get 100 backers, you're probably gonna have a hard time fulfilling. But let's be reasonable. We're gonna figure out how much our fucking costs are and whatnot. It ultimately, if it's like this, if you set that lower end goal, you obtain it, and you let the platform work for you. You're in it's a much easier role for you in general. The campaign itself, the platform takes some of the burden, and if not, say you don't reach the minimum you need, but you obtain your goal. Well, guess what you can do? You can refund people if need be. In fact, nobody's going to get mad at you if you did not get enough to get them the product. Yeah, it sucks, but fucking give them their money back, and guess what? They'll be more willing to back you again. Don't fucking lead people on forever with, oh God, I could totally throw a campaign out there right now.
No. Yeah, I know.
It's like, either fulfill. You're either going to be able to fulfill or you're not. At the end of the day, if you can't, just fucking go ahead and give the money back. Don't sit there and hold on to people's shit and give them the runaround and whatever. And if you spent that before you got to the point where you realized you couldn't fulfill anyway, well, fuck you, buddy. You whatever.
Well, you're definitely talking about campaigns where it's like they reach their goal, but for some reason you're still waiting a year and a half
or longer,
you know, for you to get your book, you know, because it's like they're using that Kickstarter money to produce the book, which
you get a minimum 100 backers for the past few campaigns, right?
Yeah.
What was your bare minimum print?
My bare minimum, the least amount that I had to print was, I think, like 70 copies. Because not everybody is a physical backer.
Okay, and how much did that cost you?
About almost $3 a book. About almost $3 a book.
So see, but you funded higher than
yeah.
Here, it just drives me batshit crazy. Because.
Well, because it's like, because what you see, because technically the spirit of Kickstarter is that it's in the name. It's supposed to help you. It is to help you produce your book. But I think that the problem is when like people, you know, use Kickstarter to completely produce their book. it's like, because I think like I said, the spirit is supposed to be, Kickstarter is supposed to get you that start, or at least give you that ending, give you just enough to complete. So, just enough to start, just enough to complete. But the idea is that you're still producing the book on your effort, i.e. you have skin in the game, right? But I think that a lot of these people who they take a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years to fulfill a campaign, they're trying to use Kickstarter to completely fund it. They don't want to put out a dime of their own money onto a project. And they would rather have their fans wait 3 years for a book that honestly, by then
they don't even give a fuck about anymore.
Right, exactly. It's like, honestly, it's like, I think that by the time it hits 3 years, there's probably less, there's probably less than a 50% chance that you're going to get the book at all.
Right.
So the longer the longer they make you wait, the less I think you're going to get the book.
On Kickstarter, I would go as far as to say I've noticed if it's more than 6 months, it's probably, you could probably write it off. Indiegogo, that's a different creature.
Creators that they're almost literally up to 10 years, and it's like, okay, I think it's safe to say
you keep your shit at that point.
Yeah, it's like you're never going to fulfill. So, but that's kind of a little bit of a tangent, because it's like, so the idea is that, it's like, right, Joe brought it up. It's like, if you're not willing to put up your own money on a book, why are you demanding mine?
Right.
Why are you entitled to mine? So that's something to kind of to really think about. So again, going back to your goal, your minimum goal, and using and it's like, I was about to say manipulate, but technically that's kind of what you're doing, even though manipulate is kind of like has a derogatory
right. No, you have to make the system work for you.
Right. So that's the thing that I always, that we both do, that it's like, look at how your campaigns are performing. Like, I already know that, okay, technically I can make 6K on a campaign. Like, so technically, okay, on issue 5 Amigo Raven, nothing is stopping me from logically thinking I can make 6K on that campaign and setting my goal at 6K. But it doesn't work the algorithm for me. If I do that, I have to work probably twice as hard or 3 times as hard to get to that 6K, when if I leave it, my goal at 1,500, that I can get Kickstarter to do a lot of the heavy lifting for me.
Yes, and they will. And they'll even, you'll even sometimes end up in newsletters that go into extra updates, so you get even extra promotion into other people's mailing lists that you wouldn't be able to reach on your own.
Right, because, this campaign is doing this well. It's doing 1,000%. Like I said, I can't open Kickstarter now without seeing Kara all over the place. I mean, from 2,000 to 20,000 in 24 hours. So it's like, so that's kind of a thing to really consider. It's like, now mind you, conversely, don't go too low.
No, don't go too low either, because people who set $300 and $500 goals, somebody looks at that and they're just like, oh,
they get suspicious. Why is your goal so low?
Right.
Because that's what happened to me on my first campaign. I thought if I started with a $500 goal, that it's like, well, it was my first campaign. I wasn't sure how I was going to do. I wasn't sure how people were going to react to the book. And so I set a $500 goal. No, it was a $500 or $750. It was something low. I think it was.
It was low.
Yeah, it was low. And I literally had people telling me, I want to support your campaign, but why is your goal so low? And it was a strange thing for me to get over. And on my next campaign, I really had to debate. I had to really fight myself in going up to, I think I brought it up to, I don't remember if it was 1,000 or 1,500 on the second issue, which I ended up making in 2 hours. So obviously there was something about that difference that made people more confident in my campaign.
And that shows absolutely with it being the second campaign, because the second campaign is usually your draw.
Yeah, which I did see in terms of backers.
Right.
You know, so that was the funny thing. So it's like I would have to look at the numbers. It's like I don't want to say anything off the top of my head now. Hey Marvy, hey Glenn, but yeah. So that was the thing. So it's like so just because I can make 6K, I'm still keeping now. Oh, here's a question for you. For you. So because I made 6K on my last campaign, so I have issue 5 coming up at the end of the year. Now, granted, I am not going to make a $6,000 goal. I don't want to. It's like I said, that's
good because I was leaving. I'm like, all right,
yeah, it's like that was. However,
okay,
I'm kind of wondering if I would benefit from slightly raising my goal from maybe like 1,500 to maybe
go to 2,
17, or just go straight to 2.
I'd go straight to 2.
Go straight to 2
with you,
right?
But that's only because you're experienced and proven,
right? You know, because that's what I was thinking. Because 1,500 on the individual issues, like okay, I know that works, but there kind of comes a point where it's like, you know, okay, I was listening to an interview that Christie Shinn was on one of JD's shows, and she was talking about this, how about like she feels that too many people are putting they're undervaluing their work,
right?
And it's like, and she has a point with that too. You know, it's like you don't want to undervalue your work, but I think that in this context, we're not talking about undervaluing as we are manipulating the algorithm. Again,
right.
I'm kind of squicky about
using the algorithm to your favor, because manipulation sounds like a bad thing.
Right. It's kind of like buying views. You know, like people who buy views on YouTube. It's like that's
manipulation can sometimes be a good thing. In BDSM, you want to manipulate.
Right, exactly. That's part of the kink. But you know, but in this case, in marketing, it's like there's certain.
It's part of the game.
Right. You know. So like I understand that whole don't undervalue your book, but at the same time, it's like I don't want. Exactly. You know, it's like I feel like I'm at a point where I think I could benefit from raising that goal a little bit, because I think it's always good to sweat just a little bit. You know, it's like you still have to work at your campaign.
Sure.
So okay, so I think, you know, so that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to raise issue 5, the goal for issue 5 to 2,000, and see what happens. Now, here's the other question that I have. So my trade paperbacks always do worse than the individual issues, but there's a logic to that. Individual issues have more collectability factor.
Right.
You're able to do variant covers. You're able to technically offer up more product for individual issues than you can with a trade.
Right.
So I have the Eagle Raven trade coming up, and I'm debating. I usually, for trades, I usually have a 750 goal. It's usually about half of what I do for and that's what I was thinking. It's like, should I just like see if I could push it up a bit, you know? So okay, so there we go. So we have the recommendation of raising my volume 1 goal to 1,000, and raising my issue 5 goal to 2,000. And then eventually what I would like to be able to get these 2 campaigns to do is to be able to run a trade campaign and a individual comic campaign at the same level, where I know that I can pretty much raise the same amount of money whether I'm running a trade or a comic, as opposed to thinking one would do worse than another.
With a trade, that's going to be difficult.
Okay.
Because I have seen trade, like, I would never recommend somebody going more than 1,000 on a trade unless you know for a fact and you have a proven track record of selling trades for the higher end tier. Like if you say you fucking come through, you set that $1,000 goal and you make 8, 9, or 10. Okay, then next time, yeah, sure, do that then. But for the most part, trades do not do as well. Even if they're the floppies for that same book did outstanding, I've seen trades fucking fall to the wayside and not even fun.
Yeah, because it's a different audience. Because it's like even right now I'm going through a trade phase. It's like I'm not buying individual issues because I literally don't have the setup for that and to store those anymore. But I could put a book on a shelf. So
that's another rant.
Right. Oh well, yeah. We can do an entire episode about variant covers. Variant covers are alive and well on Kickstarter. I mean, the long and the short of it is that variant covers are a very big thing on Kickstarter. In fact, they can
your tits and ass circles. Let's be
especially. But even on regular campaigns, my variant covers, I mean, that adds money.
They certainly do. Yeah. But whenever I hear somebody talk about variant covers, I think about campaigns that have 20 fucking covers.
Right. Yeah.
That's instantly where I go. Not the 1, 2, or 3.
Right. Exactly. And that's kind of like where it gets weird, which is because it's like, okay. So, all right. So if you have one variant cover that could probably add like $700 to your campaign, but say you paid $200 to $400 to get that variant cover made. So, but that variant cover made $800 for you. So obviously it's worth it. Now the thing is, though, if you have 10 of them, hey Jake, and then all of a sudden you're paying out. It could mean that you're paying out more money than you're going to see back on your campaign. It's like, okay, you're making all this money on all these variant covers. Like you can make it's like, oh, I did all these variant covers and I made $13,000 in my campaign. But that's for that's for Saturday.
For Saturday.
Saturday. It's like, so yeah, you made $13,000 on a campaign, but you had to pay out so much money for all the artists you had to get for the variant covers that you might actually just walk away with $2,000.
Which is the same thing you could have walked away with less effort, or doing less covers and just It's crazy.
So like I said, variant covers could be its whole, like the pros and cons of that could be its own episode. And if you want, we could talk about it on Monday. So we could do a full hour on that on Monday. So another thing that I was having problems, well, not problems with, but like trying to figure out, because also another thing too, like I said, social media is really tricky when it comes to advertising a book. And there really is a fine line, a very fine line between advertising and spamming.
Yes.
And it's very easy to cross that line. And even though people want to see your work, there are certain things that can turn people off really quickly, no matter how much they enjoy your stuff.
Right.
So that's something that it's like, I'm still trying to figure out, like, what's kind of the sweet spot. Like we were talking about, we were talking to George on, last week, where with his pre-launch page, he was literally only posting about it twice a month. Mm-hmm. He had a very chill campaign, and he just like kept it, and then all of a sudden,
his first campaign, he's doing incredible.
Right, he's doing really, really well. And so what? Okay, so where does that fine line happen? Where do you see that? Like, where does it like what's optimum, and then where does it cross over to spam?
Okay, first of all, it instantly becomes spam if you're going to every group, every page, multiple times a day, and just clicking your Kickstarter link or adding your Kickstarter link. It also becomes spam if you're using bullshit to sell your product. And I am going to hurt feelings saying this, and I don't care. I'm sorry. You can unsubscribe, whatever. One trend that is really big right now that is a very poor decision when it comes to marketing is one of my favorite things in the world is memes.
Yeah.
Do not meme your fucking shit. Nobody wants to see a fucking meme advertising your Kickstarter. What does that have to do with the product you're trying to sell me?
Yeah.
Will you fund? Maybe, perhaps, if you've already built up that dedicated following. Are you going to get a bunch of new followers? Probably not, because I know for a fact, which I don't understand why people won't open their mouths and speak up about this shit. I know multiple people who will immediately mute a campaign when they see the person using memes to promote. Yeah. Show me your product. Show me your interiors. Give me a brief character description. Alter images from your campaign and include the link into your comments. Change it up a bit. Because to me, spam equals trash, and you converting memes, which 90% of the time are not even fucking funny.
Right.
Let's be
yeah.
real. You guys think
or can be very easily
not
misinterpreted.
Or misinterpreted.
Right.
God, there is an example I really want to give, and it's
right.
a friend of mine, and that's what really sucks. But I mean, dude, if you can't clearly look at an image and see what idea is being sold,
right,
then it is poor for marketing.
Yeah.
Because people who don't know you personally are not going to get your jokes.
Yeah.
So don't bring that shit to the table.
Right. Yeah.
That makes that is the spammiest spam.
Yeah, because yeah, I agree. It's like the memes, they don't tell anything.
No.
I want to know about the book. I want to see artwork. You know, I don't want you repurposing a meme that I've already seen a billion different variations of already, and that shit stopped being funny years ago. You know,
I love memes. I do not love memes for marketing.
No, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you see that's the thing. It's like memes are when, you know, you're answering somebody's goofball posts. Memes are for shit posting. Memes are not for advertising your comic. Thank you, Jake. Yes, there you go. It's that simple. You know, maybe not those.
Thank you.
You know, yeah, and that's exactly what it is. You know, because the thing is, yeah, I have seen a lot of these. You know, they're supposed to be funny, and I'm misinterpreting them because.
And we know the people that are running them.
Right,
that's what.
exactly.
And it's like, so imagine a stranger's take.
Yeah.
Like someone who's not even, or someone who's on the outside of the indie industry into mainstream comics that stumbles on, and then they see Marvel and DC are not going to do that.
Right.
Image is not going to do that. IDW is not going to fucking do that. Nobody's going to fucking do that. And why don't they do that? Because they use tried and proven advertising methods.
Right. And also the thing is, you had mentioned too, that because we end up muting these creators, and I know it's like, look, I know that there's creators that I mute the second I see that they start memeing, because it becomes their only thing. But in your case, because of what you do and in your marketing, because you know these people, a large portion of their audience has them muted, it discourages you from sharing out.
Absolutely.
Their links.
Here's why. Unless I create it myself and make my own copy for their shit, which if you're paying me, I'll do that boom, boom, boom all day fucking long, because that's my job and that's what I'm supposed to do. For friends, I will occasionally do it for nothing and throw it out there just to help a buddy out. It's what you do.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But if that's the only way you're advertising yourself, I cannot just simply share you.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't always have the free time to make a new copy, to pull up my own images and whatever to promote your fucking campaign.
Yeah.
So therefore, promoters are going to be reluctant to share you, because if people mute us, we lose money.
Right.
Because if our analytics drop, people come to me and they want to see my numbers. They don't just say, "Oh, hey, I see you sharing shit." No, they want to see what I'm bringing to the table. And if I'm blocked or I'm muted, what am I doing? Nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's now here's the opposite of what what I've also seen. You know, there are creators who they don't use memes. They use artwork or whatnot, and you know, they technically do the right thing. However, they still cross that line into spamming, because now I'm seeing them too much.
Right. If you have a book and you're just starting your book, okay, and you want to show some of the progress as you get there to slowly build that hype, do that occasionally. Show yourself sketching out. Show the interiors. Talk about, you know, the premise or whatever. But don't get on there every day live streaming and drawing and the art over, because if we see the whole product before it's there, chances are, why are you going to buy the cow when you get the milk for free? I mean, seriously, that's what it fucking boils down to. Do these people fund? Sure, but have I seen them struggle to sell when they've sat there and shoved it down your throat every day for a year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're the ones that are having to fucking do that grind and overwork themselves and exhaust themselves and have this fuck crowdfunding or fuck this platform mentality. But it's like you left nothing to the imagination.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and it's like, so yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, it sounds kind of weird because it's
Morning, Mike.
Oh, hey, is that the whole, you know, why buy the cow, right? And what's funny is that even though it's just advertising, right? It's like, I think the real problem comes in not that, you know, we're seeing the cow, right? Because technically, you know, it's like, that's, you know, it's like I have my books up on my websites for free,
right?
You know, so anybody can go to EgoWorks and to Tall Tales Online, and they can read Tall Tales for free. They can read Ego Raven for free, but my campaigns still sell. People still want my book.
But you're not live streaming it every day.
No,
the
right.
same
I'm live
art.
streaming.
You give us variation in changes in your art. Yeah, we might see you on your draw stream sketching out a few panels from one book or another that you're doing, but it's not always the same material for the same campaign that's coming up over and over and over and over.
Right.
Dude, don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, because also the thing is too, is that it's like, yeah, it might feel like you're being productive by streaming every day your work progress. But what we've seen over and over and over again is these are the same creators that by the time the campaign finally goes live, they've burnt themselves out.
Yes, they've burnt themselves out to the point they're not even wanting to get on podcasts and talk about their shit anymore.
Right.
They're exhausted.
Yeah.
Or when they do appear, that fire is gone because they've done it so much. It's like, no, we want to see that. We need that fire, because if you're not on fire for your shit, you can't expect me to be.
Right. And that's really the important thing, because nobody is a bigger cheerleader for your work than you. So, and it's like, and it's like, it's like, you know what? Speaking of cheerleaders, so I guess, like, here's the difference. So when you're at a game, you know, now mind you, I'm going to completely talk as somebody who's not into group sports, so I may be talking out of my ass here for a bit. But you're at a game and the cheerleaders comes up. You know, yes, live stream draws should be your showcase. right? Exactly. You're supposed to showcase, not, lay yourself bare before the campaign starts. So you're at a game, the cheerleaders come up. Everyone's like, yay, cheerleaders, cheerleaders and exploding Zambonis, the whole thing. It's like everybody loves the cheerleaders, right? Until you happen, I don't know, you go to Disney. Because this happened to us several times. You go to like Disney World, but you go during cheerleading championships.
Oh, Lord.
So you're fucking surrounded by cheerleaders. Everywhere you look, those bitches with the glitter bows in their hair are everywhere. And no matter what, they're in the parks, they're at the hotels, they're in the restaurants. They're like that. It's like cheerleaders everywhere, and the thing is though, and what happens when you get cheerleaders together? They all gotta fucking cheer. So you're in the parks, you're trying to chill, and all of a sudden, like
Brittany's doing cartwheels.
They're all of a sudden doing their, they're practicing their routines all of a sudden by the Fountain of Nations or whatever. It's like that's what it feels like. It's like by the end of the day, you want lightning to come down and strike all of them.
No, Daphne,
on the
we
buses,
don't want that.
you can't. Even on the buses, you get on the buses, you're tired, you're exhausted, and you're surrounded by glitter bows. You're surrounded by the cheerleader moms. Gathering up 30 of these girls in one bus. And they're all. It's like that's what we're talking about. That's right. The difference. There's the cheerleaders in context, and then there's the cheerleaders where you just
force down your throat.
Right. It's like you're washing glitter for the rest of the year.
It's like sand.
You got caught between your toes. You got caught in a bus. With the cheerleader squad. That's what it is. So that's the difference between cheerleading your book in a way that people cheer with you and cheerleading in a way where people literally want you to disappear. That's kind of like the best analogy that I could give with that. So don't be the cheerleaders at the resorts. Don't be the cheerleaders at the cheer meet. Be the cheerleaders at the football game. But don't be the cheerleaders with all the other cheerleaders when I'm trying to have a nice vacation. Because that's happened to us several times, and it's weird every single time. So that's the thing. So it's like, don't tire your audience out with your advertising, and definitely don't tire yourself out promoting, because when that campaign hits, that's where you have to be 100%, because that's what, especially once you get to the especially when you get to the plateau period. Right, yeah, it's like, yeah, that's true. Especially when you get to the plateau period where you have to be extra on top of your game to keep your campaign moving during that period. So what would be your optimum, like what would be like the optimum I guess marketing, like social media posting, like that you've seen? What was like the best that you've seen that you would like should we do 3 times a week? Should every 5 days a week?
When you're active, every day, but use different groups. Don't cram it all on your wall every day. Or if you do it once per day on your own wall, use a variety of groups. Change up the posts. Don't have the same stat, because 30 days is a long time and it's super short at the same time.
Yeah.
Don't give me the same fucking spiel every day the entire time, like to where it's like when I see it, I know what it's going to say automatically, and it's just like, okay, just keep scrolling. Change it up a little bit. Don't. Well, for one, on Facebook, don't ever use your direct link. That's a proven fail in algorithms. Don't believe me? Go look at my Facebook wall right now. You'll see the posts that get engagements and the ones that don't. And an engagement, even if it's just a like, is an engagement. But usually a direct link will get very little likes, or only someone who is tagged, and it's going to see it because it's going to get buried in Facebook feed. Because anytime you post a link to Facebook that takes you off of Facebook, Facebook doesn't want people to leave Facebook. They want people to stay on Facebook. So utilize utilize separate links to create a bit.ly, which is also good for just tracking to see how you're doing from various platforms or whatever. Create a short link URL to try to throw off the botting systems that will flag you as spam first off, because the platforms we use on social media are not wanting you to make money, but at their expense.
Right. Yeah.
So they've made it harder for us to be able to utilize that platform. And a lot of people who are running campaigns may not really recognize that because they only are seeing their own results. Whereas people who push and market several people's campaigns pick up on this shit rather easy. Never direct link on Facebook. Put your link in your comments. You can even, if you're having a rough day and you can't come up with a new idea for copy that day, go to your Kickstarter page, copy out of your own fucking wall crawl, paste it to your fucking shit, and then toss your image. And even if it's the same image that's on the Kickstarter, that's fine. Throw it on there, but then put that link in the comments.
Right. And that's and just to clarify, that's what you mean by direct link, right? That when you have the link in the post itself,
right,
as opposed to putting it in the comments.
Right.
Yeah, because we were talking about, like, Twitter is kind of a different animal with that. I guess with that, do you notice a difference between putting a direct link or putting a link in
I have, but here's the thing. Even Twitter is getting kind of weird right now. There's something going on where I've noticed a change in engagement. I wouldn't say a drop, just what people are more engaged with has shifted. So there's something going on there with the algorithms. So for now, I would say, yeah, go ahead and you could use a direct link. But I'm also currently myself experimenting with doing the post and adding the separate tweet and going in, doing the tweet, and then going into the comments after.
Right.
But if Twitter has changed that to where they're only going to be receptive of links and comments, we're fucked with Twitter, because Twitter's so hard to follow and read sometimes that link's not going to get out there like it should. So I'm really, really hoping that just having that one tweet with the connected tweet will pick back up and let me see the increase in engagement. Because if it's basically what happens in Twitter is it's going to end up hidden. Twitter moves so fucking fast. Nobody's going to sit there and go through the comments unless you're tagged, unless you're a close friend and they see that their friend is tagged. Then there's going to be that curiosity, or they're tagged themselves, and so it's gonna lose out if that's the case. Or we're gonna lose out.
Right. And Instagram is just weird because it doesn't allow you to put links, like functional links, in the post. But if you have a link tree, this is where something like a link tree comes in really handy, because you can just put your link tree in your bio on Instagram, and then when you click on that, then on your link tree you can put your campaign or what at the very top, like the first link. and you have all your links there as well. So that's I mean, it doesn't really sound efficient, but it seems to be the best way right now to make sure that people see your links on Instagram.
Right.
Unless there's something that I'm unaware of, but I don't really spend a lot of time on Instagram, so I'm not that familiar with it. I mean, do you notice anything about that?
I don't use Instagram is the one social media platform I keep more personal. I post whatever the fuck I feel like, you know.
Right.
Just, I share when I get something in. I don't really use it as a marketing tool.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like it's just there. That's kind of how I treat it. But that's It's and also it's like, you know, I guess for some of you also who are, you know, like wondering.
However, if I was an artist, I would utilize Instagram.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm not.
Right. But even then, it's like Instagram is kind of like the lowest on my tier of, you know, where to concentrate on when it comes to social media marketing. And for those of you who are wondering, it's like, yes, I have experimented with Facebook ads, and I can't say with any definitive authority whether they work. Although I do find them helpful, especially if you have a mailing list that you can input as an audience into Facebook, because what I like about that is that my mailing list, and mind you, that's a whole other animal, mailing lists. My mailing list has a very low engagement rate. But by putting that mailing list in Facebook and creating an audience, I can make sure the people who don't open up my mailing list, my emails, but may have a Facebook page, still have an opportunity to see my ads, which means that they will see my book. So that's kind of as much as I've gotten.
It's a dangerous game, and here's why. That does well for the guy in the middle, where you are right now. Yeah. For the people who are making 5 figures every campaign, that does not bode well at all.
Right.
Because what ends up happening is if they run ads for a certain campaign or whatever, Facebook will even throttle ads that are being paid for.
Yeah, and I've seen
not just that, they heavily throttle them when they don't pay them. So they to the point where if I'm fucking marketing for them, if I tag them in their own like right now, I can't tag Kara. Right. If I tag Kara, nobody's gonna see her shit. But if I run it like it's my own with whatever, it's getting the engagement on the various groups. It's getting the engagement even on my page. But she's throttled as fuck. They did it to Rob Multari too. Like, which is why they pay marketers to fucking go out and do the social media push, because if they do it from their own accounts, they're not getting seen like they should.
Right.
And
even paying.
Because once you pay, they want you to pay more.
Right.
And they see you making that money.
Yeah.
And so that it's kind of it's a very iffy place to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I only use that as kind of like reminders for people rather than advertising, because I also put like the minimum amount of budget that on it. It's like I'm
never let them think you have money. The second they think you have money, you're fucked.
Yeah,
you might as well bend over and take it.
It's very strange. So it's like I can't say yay or nay on whether it's helpful. I mean, the way I use it, it was. I think at a certain level it is, but it's minimal. It's I've seen very minimal benefit, but it's just enough for me to continue utilizing it.
Well, I did it as an experiment when we first decided to run things as a network instead of just us vlogging. I ran one ad and I made a link just for it to see. Now, and I was very specific. When you can go through and you can select what the people.
Right.
I picked the age range that I knew that we were already targeting. I picked comics as an interest. I mean, I really fucking narrowed it down.
Right.
Did not get one sub from that link.
Right.
Not even one.
Yeah.
Not even one. Turned around and did the same thing with a different link myself on Twitter and got 13 people.
Right. So you see that and in the end, it's like that kind of like narrows it. That kind of like pretty much sums up, not narrow, but
because no matter how much you pinpoint it, they're not going to hit. You make your target this big, their target's still going to be like this because they're dealing with the fucking world.
Right. Yeah.
Like whereas if I narrow it down to people that have already targeted, people who have already come to me and already following me, and they're friends with that common interest, it's like I said, it's just fucking weird.
Yeah,
some people it's beneficial, and other people it can actually destroy.
But that's why social media is such a challenge, because we're always changing, because the algorithm's always changing, and we have to make sure we're changing with it. But the thing is, though, we don't know what the algorithm's changing to.
No.
So
and by the time you figure it out, they changed it again.
Right. So it's
but
all
one thing that's
guesswork.
always been consistent is direct links in a post. That has always been consistent. You will get lower engagement. You will get fewer shares, less likes, and way fewer comments.
Right. So that's the challenge after every campaign is analyzing all the data that we collect, and then like the next campaign, it's like, okay, what do we do next? What do we do with this? What do we? I mean, it's like it's nonstop. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, and that's what it is, and that's what I hope that we can offer with this show, is that whenever we have an insight as to into anything dealing with comics and crowdfunding and marketing and whatnot, that we share it with all of you, and you learn. And it's like, well, I would have
one more thing, because I know you're wrapping up. I know you, Daphne.
Okay.
You're wrapping this up. Don't throw pity parties for pledges. Don't do it. It turns people off. Like if your life is bad, I'm sorry for you. Like I really am. I am a compassionate and empathetic person, but as your sales approach, that doesn't work. Okay. All right.
That's a very important. Yeah, but that's a very important thing. Like
keep it positive, especially when you're running live.
I mean, because it's funny, because it's like, like yesterday I was listening to Marcus Aurelius, the Meditations. I'm listening to that. I'm listening to Seneca. I'm listening to the Stoics, and there's a lot of, we could probably do an episode on how to apply all of their thought processes into how to market a campaign. But I would have to gather my thoughts on that first. But yeah, it's like the whole, the staying positive during a campaign is definitely really important, because how you portray yourself to your audience, like your audience is going to mirror you. And
if you have something life-changing, traumatic happen to where it affects your promotion, then it might be a good idea to drop your campaign and come back when you're in a better mental state. Like if your mom dies, or your dog falls out of a 12-story window, and whatever. If something fucking traumatic to where you emotionally are not in the right mindset, that you can't even fake a fucking smile, it's better for you to drop your campaign and come back later than to have a failed campaign and try to come back and share it.
I mean, it's that in and of itself could be its own show, which we will.
It really could be. It really
we
could be.
will do. We will eventually get through all these topics, but we're just past the hour, because you know us, we can keep going if we wanted, but we have things to do. We have comics to make. She has campaigns to promote. So
that's it.
That's it. So I just want to thank everybody in the chat for keeping it moving, keeping it jumping. I like to thank everybody who's watching. I hope that you got something out of this today. It's like, because I love navel gazing after a campaign. I mean, it's a necessary thing to do, but there is something enjoyable about trying to figure out the mystery of the universe when it comes to trying to sell comics. Isn't it?
Well,
it really fun about it.
It basically boils down to keep it simple, stupid, keep it relative, and keep it realistic.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like it's like you can't get any simpler than that, really. So, on that note, if you speaking of wrapping it up, if you want to see more of my work and my campaigns and all that other stuff, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites. But I mostly post to Facebook if you're into seeing sketches and current work in progress and updates and my doodles and the whole thing. And you can also catch me here on YouTube. I will be back again Sunday with Randy Zimmerman on Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. Back on Monday with Nita at 11 a.m. We do this Wednesday. I will not have a live stream. I forgot that I had something going on, so no live stream on Wednesday, but we will be back. So, hey, Mike.
Dinner's in the microwave. It's cold.
All right. Yeah, there you go. So like and subscribe the channel, both our channels, Ragin 2 and Daphne Lage Art. Hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. And also, don't forget to sign up for my monthly newsletter, because not only will you get free comic book PDFs to download, but you will also get updates on all my upcoming crowdfunders. And boy, are there a lot of them. So, so Nita, where can they find you?
I can be found on Facebook as Nita Lanning. I can be found on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and everywhere else as @C_chaos247. On some platforms that don't allow the just drop it, C_chaos 24/7. Pay attention, follow me, and please tune into my feeds, because I'm going to have some announcements coming up. One involving Mike Jimmy, who's got something special coming for the network. So you guys tune in. We got stuff to talk about. Follow some of these campaigns and be good to each other, man. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So, in the mighty words of Marcus Aurelius, actually not really, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake your accomplishments. And honestly, after listening to so much of the meditations yesterday, I probably could sum up Marcus Aurelius in those 4 things. Marcus Aurelius wants you to moisturize, especially your elbows. So on that note, we will see you next time. Bye.
Hit the button.